So you want to main Mina. Well, do you like bats? Do you like umbrellas? Do you like vampires? Do you like being a little shit? Do you like mobility? And do you like being a brat? Then Mina Ha, the future Viscount of New York, is for you.
Mina Ha had it all. Rich parents, elite education, an arranged marriage that would see her ascend from run-of-the-mill upper class to American royalty. She was happy.
That was until Aaron Fairfax was assassinated by Calico on their 18th birthday, leaving the wedding and potential future dead and buried. Now let me propose a question to you, dear viewer. Do you think Mina wept for her betrothed like any normal person? Nope. Mina instead threw her toys out from her proverbial pram and decided that what happened to Aaron was actually the worst thing to happen to her. Even though Aaron was the one to get a bullet through their chest, but that's besides the point, and demanded her parents be the ones to fix it. Now, how do you top being married into what is quote-unquote American royalty? Well, you promise your young adult brat of a daughter immortality and find a vampire who is willing to turn her. Surprisingly, they do find someone willing to turn her. Immortality and a trust fund? Sure, that could work as a plan B for Mina Ha, and especially for Mina Ha. Reborn as a vampire, Mina was in for a rude awakening when she discovered that she held no power nor clout in vampire society. And so she sets out to learn the rules of vampire high society and subvert them, bend them, and mold them into something that will help her achieve her goal, become Viscount of New York. Mina's story ties into some of the bigger players of the Deadlock world, most notably Aaron Fairfax, who we all know lovingly as Pocket. Most of humanity's upper class, and notably people like Lady Geist, who she fawns over.
I hope I get to work with Lady Geist. She's an icon.
Mina is a classic mean girl with a bratty attitude, generally antagonistic to anyone that even remotely get on her bad side.
What a wretched jacket. That's for carding me on my 16th birthday. I hate you. Just so you know, the hat makes you look stupid.
Like I said, unless you're Lady Geist. If so, Mina's the nicest person you've ever seen, or met, or even have your ass kissed by. Alongside her wanting to show her prowess in fashion design, as mentioned by several of her interactions with characters regarding their choices in fashion, she's even offered to stitch everyone's favorite cadaver man, Victor, back up as long as he walks one of her shows.
Whoever stitched you up did a shit job.
You think you could do better?
Of course I could do better.
Didn't realize you were a doctor.
I'm not. I'm someone who actually knows how to sew.
Then fix me up after the ritual.
You walk one of my shows, then sure.
Sure.
Really?
Why not? What else am I gonna do?
Mina's main objective with the patrons is to become Viscount of New York, and she'll kill anyone to do it. And believe me, kill anyone, she will. In-game, Mina is a mid to close range spirit assassin with a fuck ton of mobility baked into her kit despite only being a 2 stamina character. A known early game bully and mid game monster, she tends to fall off in the late game as the characters that run that phase of the game start to become online and run her down instead. Paired with the lowest health pool in the game, and it becomes quickly apparent that Mina is the textbook definition of a glass cannon character. She'll kill you just as fast as you'll kill her. So, what does Mina have that makes her this early to mid game menace? Well, let's start with her weapon. New Money is a 12-shot, fully automatic pistol that does 29 damage per second at base with no boons. Its small ammo count and relatively slow fire rate means you'll be barely building anything related to gun unless it's something that actually activates your spirit buff damage or status affliction thanks to one of Mina's core abilities we'll get into later. New Money is really nothing to write home about. It gets the job done, and that's all that really matters in the grand scheme of soul generation. So I'll just leave that there and move on to one of Mina's main abilities. For Mina's first ability, we have Rake. Rake has a passive and an active skill effect, and a lot of Mina's abilities do actually have these effects. For the passive, holding down the zoom/alt fire button causes Mina to briefly float in the air. This float lasts up to 4 seconds and can be activated by any number of times as long as you still have floating time. For Rake's active, Mina slashes with her umbrella, dealing spirit damage, scaling off of missing health, and executes non-heroes below 60 health. For every target killed, Mina is granted a heal that scales with spirit and boons, and here's some Wesker mouth. Rake is Mina's main sustain tool and makes for a really good farm tool too. Since for some reason it's considered a melee execute, actually killing troopers with this ability will give full souls instead of the usual soul mechanics used in Deadlock. Paired that with its scaling damage based on missing health, staying low against Mina in lane is a pretty surefire way to allow Mina and her lane partner to guardian dive. And believe me, when paired with everything on top of her abilities, it's no wonder she's good in lane, and she will guardian dive you at least once if she has the opportunity to kill you. Which you probably should do, by the way, because, well, if you're able to to get the kill off with the rake, you get the heal, you get out, you can fast reset, buy something from the shop, hell, maybe even go back to base and heal up yourself. Mina's second ability is called Sanguine Retreat. It's relatively simple. Mina briefly disperses, becoming untargetable, and briefly flies to a target location. It can be recast within 3.5 seconds of a window, and here's some flying math. Sanguine has a couple of use cases where it really shines, and its big one is dodging hard CC and massive amounts of burst damage, like Bebop Bomb, 7 stun, and some ultimates. At tier 3, Sanguine acquires another recast, meaning even more mobility on an ability that already has some insane use cases for mobility. It originally used to have stamina reset, but Yoshi decided that was a bit too overpowered, and he's right. But you will be dodging so many ultimates with Sanguine. Lash ultimate being one of them, Bebop Bomb being another thing when it's fully stacked. Let's be real, that thing hits like a fucking truck. Anything that's a projectile, I've even seen and done dodged. New Wraith ultimate. Mina's third ability is Love Bites. Mina's bullets and abilities apply a spirit damage and a mark, building up to a massive burst of damage. The percentages of the mark build up vary from ability to ability, and on bullets, it's affected by new money's fall off and its damage. It also depends if you hit headshots or not. Its percentages apply differently depending on what's used, and here's some bite math. Love Bites is Mina's main damage tool on pretty much everything she does. It's very, very front-loaded for an ability. From the start of the game, she has Love Bites and is poking you down in lane, and being hit by that big burst of damage is an experience, both receiving and giving. One of Mina's main game plans is to build up Love Bites, get her procs off, and make sure you stay permanently below 50% HP. And as Mina, you should always be looking towards proccing this ability to ensure maximum bully potential, and people hate this ability for a good reason, because it ties into her ultimate. And for Mina's ultimate ability, we have Nox Nostra. This ability's passive that, when unlocked, means that anytime Love Bites is triggered against an enemy hero, it permanently increases the number of bats that Nox Nostra releases. It is 2 per proc, and it stacks up very quickly if you are able to hit your shots and get your procs. When activated, Mina flies up into the sky, unleashing a cloud of bats that seek out targets, deal spirit damage, and silence them for 1.25 seconds per bat. This ability can also proc Love Bites, and here's some bat math. Oh, Nox Nostra, the problem child ability of Mina's kit. Every time Mina is in the meta, it's for causes such as her mobility or her ultimate being able to shred basically anything if she's ahead. Hell, not even when she's ahead. Nox Nostra is just a really good team fighting ultimate that if no one has the ability to cleanse, she will do a high amount of damage. She'll do a high amount of damage and procs items such as Spirit Burn. Speaking of items, let's move on to what you want to pick up for Mina in a regular build. For gun, you'd want to spec into stuff such as Spirit Rend, Toxic Bullets, and maybe Swift Striker or Kinetic Dash, if you want to acquire some fire rate, that is. Mystic Shot is good for early game potential, and when you slowly get to your investments, it would actually be able to proc Mystic Burst quite easily. You can always pick up a Ricochet in the mid game to end game if you feel like being a weirdo and spreading a shit ton of Love Bite procs on people, but that's if you want to go late game Chungus build, so keep that in mind. And very good recommendation for gun would be Spiritual Overflow if you want gun sustain. Plus, you'll be shooting quite a bit, so hey, faster you can get those procs off, the better. For green, you're building Stamina Mastery, and I'm not arguing semantics with any of you. Build Stamina Mastery. It's a must. And barriers. A metric shit ton of barriers. Reactive is almost a must with Mina, as you'll most likely get hit with CCs and slowing hexes the moment you even so much as get ahead, because people will be building counters for you. Indomitable as well, if you really need the free CC cleanse on top of that. Divinus Kevlar if you want to have a big barrier on ult. Unstoppable is always, and I mean always, a very good thing to pick up if you need to stay in a fight and not get destroyed. Some sustain like Leech or Infuser, and Counterspell if you want to parry that shit, bruh. Once again, I'm gonna mention this here. Trophy Collect is also a really good item to pick up. You know, tier 2, get your stacks, get your souls, get your movement speed, get your roaming potential going, because Mina is one of the best roaming mid-game assassins in this game. For Spirit, you're building Nuke, which is the usual suspects. Boundless Spirit, Spirit Burn, Tank Buster, and Superior Cooldown. Mina lives and dies by these 4 items, as her damage is quite honestly some of the best in the game when she gets online. You can spec into other things like Surge of Power, Focus Lens, or Ethereal Shift if you need to deal with a lot of heavy CC in a match, and if you're specking into items with long cooldowns and active properties, you can always upgrade to Superior to Transcendent and have more uptime on both your abilities and item actives. Another one that I like to pick up quite a bit, and it's an honorable mention here, but you don't really need to, would be Mercurial Magnum plus Escalating Exposure. And unlike Doorman, Mina is relatively set in stone for her build paths. You run what works for her, continue to run what works with her, and you pray you actually get somewhere, because falling behind on Mina is a recipe for a bad time. If you're playing behind on Mina, you've just got to focus on farming and taking whatever picks you can get. Playing Mina from behind is a horrible experience. And that will be it, my goobers. This will conclude the overview of Mina, haha, hee hee. If you like big burst damage, good sustain, good mobility, then check out the future potential Viscount of New York. Give Mina a go and see how you feel about her. Thank you all for watching this latest video of mine. If you liked what you watched and want to see more, be sure to give me some feedback in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video, and that is it from me. Later, goobers!